I call it the Battle of the Baritones. Really, I mean it. It was, I don't know what they were thinking, you know. What were they thinking? I mean, come on. Who can get lower than this? I can. No, I can. Wow. Wow. My. Are you all from Richmond? Who's not from Richmond? Wow. Wow.
We're from Pennsylvania.
Welcome, Pennsylvania. As they would say in Richmond, till all are one. Well, I'm going to sit down.
Yeah, let's get comfortable. We're going to be here a little while.
Okay.
Peter, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for coming out to Richmond and, of course, joining us on this weekend. How's your weekend been so far?
Busy.
I'm sure. I mean, the line, even for your panel here today, just started as soon as the doors opened.
Wow.
Everyone is so excited just to meet you.
I truly appreciate that. You have no idea how I feel when I see people waiting like that. And I say, I hope they're not waiting for me. I mean, I love you guys. Thank you so much. I really mean that. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, Peter, I mean, you're an absolute inspiration to anyone who's ever grown up watching all of your tremendous work that you've done in Transformers, in the voice of Eeyore. You know, you've inspired so many voice actors like Nolan North and Steve Bloom to get their career started. I mean, that must feel so amazing for you to just have that. But, I mean, you're such an amazing voice, and I wanted to know, how did you first discover your voice?
Well, I tried to answer that question, and every time I do, I change it. But I think it all started when I was working on a farm for the summers up in upstate New York, and it was a dairy farm. And I discovered that when I was in the dairy barn with all the cows, all the milkers, I could get their attention by making a noise of some kind, and they would all look at my direction. So I started using that as an audience, and I would come up, and at the time, I think I was, well, I don't know, maybe, it was just after the Second World War, and I was probably, 6 or 7 or 8 years old or something, and I was doing German accent, and I said, "All right, I want your attention now," and they all just looked at me at the same time. So I started walking up and down, and I'm giving orders, and I say, "You pay attention to me. I'm talking to you," chickens would be outside and horses. Dogs, big dogs, little dogs, cats. Oh, gee, fighting cats. I had a ball doing that, and but especially with the cows. So I would say, back in those days, it probably was a dairy farm where I started practicing and getting ahead and just enjoying the hell out of it. I just enjoyed it so much, Where could you get a better audience, than 80 dairy cows staring at you, I heard that.
That's amazing. So you just drew inspiration from the nature around you, the sounds around you, and trying to mimic all these sounds.
Yeah, and, well, I still do it today. That's how I came up with the Predator, was from a sound. it reminded me of an upside down horseshoe crab on the beach, upside down, and bubbles were coming out of its, mouth or whatever it had. And it was making that crackling. So, and, and so I had just done King Kong probably about 6 months before, and I did 11 reels of, and I started coughing up blood.
Wow.
So I said, I'll never do any more monster sounds and that stuff. So I've told this story before.
Yeah.
You're repeating yourself, Peter.
Oh, these are stories that we love to hear. We want to hear it from the source. You've been through it, and you've been in the industry for a very long time, and you've got to see a lot of advancements in the technology and the way things have evolved. How have you adapted or navigated your way through all these technological changes as the industry grew?
Duh. How do you do that? It's taken a while, but I thank God I'm surrounded by people that are brighter than me, and they can explain it rather well. So I've caught on to the phone and to many of its idiosyncrasies, idiot-syncrasies for me, and in any way. But the other stuff like computers and the more advanced electronics. I don't waste my time with. Life is too short,
Absolutely.
It is, I know. Haven't got time for that. I'm still on the old dial phone, Hello? Hello? Wait. Okay.
That was so amazing how you just you're able to recall all these sounds. But like you said, you've been doing it for such a long time. Do you ever find it difficult to find how to portray a certain sound, or do you find that it's just instant for you?
I hang around Frank Welker a lot. Frankie, where are you? I love it, man. He's such a great talent. I mean, he's the greatest in the world. I call him the king. Le roi. En français, le roi. R-O-I. I should call him Roy, but he wouldn't get that. So I just call him the king because he is. We've had so much fun over the years working, together in studios. And I tell this story often, but he can do sounds while I'm in a very important speech. He'll do the sound of an air conditioner in another room, or a faucet, a leaking faucet, or a bird outside the window, and I'll be deep into, you will not survive or something, blah, 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 blah. And then he'll be, because he's standing next to me. And nobody else can hear it. And certainly the producers and the directors, they can't hear it. There's a big glass window there, without the thick. So I'll just, and blah, 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 blah. Excuse me, Wally, are you picking up all that sound what sound? Would you cut it out? Anyway, and Frank can get me all the time. 100% of the time he can get me. And he's just an incredible talent.
It's wonderful that you get to
Hear
share
it for
that. Thank you
Frank
for sharing
Welker,
that with
guys.
us. Thank you so much. Well, I would love to, of course, pick your brain for hours on end, but we have some questions here from our fans.
Oh, I hope they're not difficult.
So let's do our best to answer as many as we can. And here we go. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Is to say is, Mr. Cullen, it's an honor and a privilege to meet the very voice actor of the great Optimus Prime, the leader of the Autobots.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You have my respect, sir. And my first question is, could you share the story behind the creation of Optimus Prime's voice and character? What inspired you to give him the noble and commanding presence that he is known for?
Well, My brother Larry, 13 months older, and my hero, 6 inches taller, a former officer in the Marine Corps. He fought in Vietnam, Bronze Star with V, a couple of Purple Hearts, and he saw tremendous battles. The Battle of Hastings was shot in. He was wounded there. He lost several of his platoon. When he came home, he was a different man, and we shared an apartment together. And he would always ask me where I was going. What was I going to audition for this time? So I needed the car, and I said, Larry, I'm going to need the car around noon. He said, Peter, what for? I said, I'm going to audition. What this time, Pete? I said, a truck. And he laughed too. He said, a truck? He said, yeah. I said, Larry, no, wait a minute now. Because I've told him many things before, like the time when I said, I got to be a car that can't get started in the morning. So that was, I'm a 1959 Chevrolet that can't seem to get started in the morning. And he said, well, that's kind of neat. So the truck, what's the truck? I said, Larry, no, he's a hero truck. He's a real hero. And he just got very somber, and he said, Peter, if you're going to be a hero, be a real hero. Don't be one of those Hollywood yellers and pretending he's a tough guy. Be strong enough to be gentle. And that hit me, bang. Wow, I went to the audition, and there it was. Larry's voice just came out, and I said, this is a leader. He said, could have said, the script could have read, my name is Larry Cullen, K Company, 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines. But no, it was, my name is Optimus Prime from the planet Cybertron. And it was just Larry coming out. And I said, well, this is it. This is it. I just read the whole thing. And I got to the end of it. I walked out of that audition. I said, wow. If they don't pick Larry, they're nuts.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for your question.
And before I go, I want to say is this greatest catchphrase of all time. There's more to them than meets the eye.
Thank you. Yes.
All right. Hi, step on up. What's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name is John. Hello, Peter.
Hi.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I'd like to thank you for the TV, the movies, the video games, all throughout my childhood and adulthood, and I think for everyone here as well.
Thank you.
My question is, what inspired you to become the voice actor? Because I noticed that a lot of your training was in acting, and then how did you make that transition? What actually caused it?
Hollywood. I had done a lot of stage and formal theater studies, the National Theater School. I did plays, I did nightclub, I did a lot of live entertainment and television, radio, all up in Canada, all in Montreal, and then Toronto, Vancouver, elsewhere. But when I came to Hollywood, I was selected to do a 2-hour special replacing the show called Laugh-In, called It's a Wacky World. And it bombed. And I had moved my family down, my wife and my son. We had sold all our furniture in Montreal. I got to Hollywood. Based on that whole thing, I started looking for a house. And so we put a down payment on a house. And I'm watching this with my agent in this unfurnished house in the Hollywood Hills. And won't forget it, halfway through that show, the 2-hour show, my wife went to the kitchen to get some stuff, and I looked over at my agent, and he went, and I went, ah, yeah. Oh, man, that hurt. And of course, the show was not picked up, but 5 days later, there was a Canadian contingent that were hired to produce and musical direct the Sonny and Cher show. And they were a group that they had I've Got You, Babe was a song they had a hit, and they had a nightclub act in Vegas. And somebody at CBS decided that they would do an hour show. Boy, I'll tell you what, the luck. Anyway, I was there at the time. They needed an announcer, and so I was the little guy in the ball that, it's the Sonny and Cher show, that kind of thing. And say, ladies and gentlemen, Sonny and Cher. And that lasted for 4 years, the same one take, and they used it for 4 years. Anyway, I did that show as the announcer, the first show, and the second week I was on camera. So I really lucked out, and it saved me because that's where I met so many of my dear friends over the years. But it went on for 4 years, and then I decided at one point, because of the rat race, I said, I'm just going to do voiceovers. You know, I said, that's it. I'm going to do voiceovers. So my agent, I got an agent, and he sent me out every day for about 8 months. And nothing ever connected. I just couldn't get it. But I didn't give up. I just kept plowing and plowing away. And finally, Betty Crocker's Snack and Cake came along. And it played for about 3 years. And it paid the mortgage for 3 years. And then it just started to click. And then my first cartoon was with Frank Welker called Mighty Man and Yuck. And I was Mighty Man, mighty, 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 mighty man. And he was Yuck. And he had to wear a doghouse over his head because it was so ugly. And if he took it off, it would just create mayhem. I don't know whoever thought of this, but boy, oh boy, they must have had a hangover the next day, I'll tell you. So I think that lasted one season, and but I never looked back. I gave up anything that was on camera, and just did voiceover. And being with Frank, you know, I learned a lot too, because his versatility just brought out all these memories in me. You know, he would do some kind of a mechanical thing, and I would do an 18-wheeler, you know, or a car or whatever. And we just had fun. It was so much fun. And then getting the Transformers, that was a ball. The actors were so talented in all the Transformers we've done over the years, you know, from Transformers Prime, Generation 1. I don't get a chance to work with any actors on the movies, with the Michael Bays, especially because I work alone, except in a series cast. You know, we all work together in the same room. I don't know if they do that anymore, but we did, and we had a ball. We laughed. Anytime we weren't serious, we were laughing. Yeah.
I'm sure you guys had an amazing time. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you.
All right, hi, what's your name and what's your question?
My name is Alexander James, and to you, Mr. Cullen, you are the man, the myth, and the legend behind some of the greatest projects ever. Predator and Winnie the Pooh, and especially Transformers, just to name a few.
Thanks.
My question is, with the evolution of the giant robot genre, with projects like the Armored Core games, Mobile Suit Gundam, Gurren Lagann, and many others, how you feel with how much it has evolved with the media of film, television, and video games?
there's a question in there somewhere, and I'm trying to figure it out. Help me.
Yeah, absolutely. So he wants to know, obviously Transformers set the tone for big robots being on the main stage and being in the popular eye. And now you see there's a lot more, it's more prominent. You see a lot of shows, a lot of entities, a lot of franchises using big robots and things like that. So how do you feel like things have evolved? I think, AJ, did I get your question kind of correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Pacific Rim.
And specifically what?
Pacific Rim.
Oh, and Pacific Rim, of course, the big film with the giant robots. So, how do you feel knowing how Transformers kind of set the tone? I agree. Hit the nail right on the head.
Godzilla,
Yeah,
King Kong.
yeah. All right. So, does that answer your question, AJ?
Jaws. Oh, gee whiz. I try not to pay too much attention to things I'm not involved with in this industry. That's the way I deal with rejection. It doesn't exist. I never heard of it before. Well, Transformers, I know all about that. I did that show. Yeah. And I can almost remember all the characters until somebody asks me a question. And then I have no idea what they're talking about.
Well, there you go, AJ. All right. Thank you so much for your question.
All right. Till all are one.
Till all are one.
All right. Hi. What's your name and what's your question?
My name is Jeremiah McClafferty. First off, it is such an honor to meet the actor that played the leader of the Autobots. And I come to you asking this one question. How did it felt to play Rise of the Beast with Optimus Primal?
Yes. Yes. I call it the Battle of the Baritones. Really, I mean it. It was, I don't know what they were thinking, What were they thinking? I mean, come on. Who can get lower than this? I can. No, I can. Wow, I tell you, it's getting tougher all the time because I tell you, people impersonate each other, and they hire a guy to come in and impersonate me, and then they play him back in my ears while I'm recording. Really? I mean, it's you just want to shoot somebody, you know what I mean? And they don't have the timing, and you're listening and you're talking at the same time, and the guy will say something, and I say, gee, stop, excuse me, could you get rid of that voice in there? Well, no, Peter, we need it for the timing. He says, yeah, but he doesn't have the timing.
Yeah. You wouldn't have said it that way, yeah.
That's not the way I would say that, Geez. I said, one guy, what? Oh, I've heard so many different varieties, but it's annoying. I'm getting away from your question,
It's okay.
And I'm doing it purposely because I really have no answer for it.
It's okay.
But
I think it was the perfect answer.
okay.
I think it was. Right, everybody? Perfect answer?
Can you hear me back there?
The Battle of the Baritones. That was the answer right there. Thank you so much for your question.
And thank you so much for your time.
Thank
I'm
you.
revved up and ready to roll out.
Let's roll.
All right. I can already tell again by the size of the line, we probably won't get to all these questions. But Peter, you'll be here for the rest of the day. They can come down and visit you at your table, yes?
Oh, boy.
We'll make it happen. We'll try to make it happen. All right, so let's do some lightning round. Let's try to go as quick as we can. Go ahead.
All right, howdy, my name's Jared. I've always wanted to know if you ever just kind of reflected on, the impact or some of the goods you had for children growing up in America, like through the 90s, the 80s, and the early 2000s. Like mainly just, boys, where Optimus is this big monolith of masculine positive values and kind of how that made you feel. I know you didn't ask for that like type role when you started, but it really kind of became something great and iconic.
Yes, great question. I'm constantly thinking of the qualities that Prime has to convey in a positive way, in a good way, for kids. And that started way back then. And it's all integrity, honesty, responsibility, the value of life, the dignity that life has, and to appeal to the qualities in humankind that express, everything from citizenry to respect to honesty, the values that we cherish in America and around the world for most part. I was just back from the Middle East, and I was really astounded by their respect for each other. They don't beep their horns at each other, because they have respect for each other. And so it's worldwide, and I think the positive traits that Optimus conveys is a positive thing for me inside that's given me that sense of value, that I'm doing something good. And there's so much violence on television and so much bloodshed and so many things that are wrong. And I've always felt that Generation 1 had a sense of value that I still think exists today in the old G1s, Yeah. Thank you.
That's just Prime.
Thank you so much for your question. Hi, what's your question?
Hi, my name is Sam, and what is your favorite part about playing Eeyore?
There we go.
No tension. I just like to be here and do what I do. Thanks for noticing me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hi.
Hi, Peter. My name is Mal, and just really quickly, I wanted to say thank you for being all our childhood, from an awesome robot to a sad little donkey that we can all relate to. And my question is, if you could tell your younger self anything to prepare him for the future, what would you tell him?
Great question. Tell the truth. Never give up.
Thank you.
Great answer. Hi, what's your question?
Hi, my name is Carlos. My question would be, in your professional career, have you had any moments of professional development that proved to be difficult?
Oh boy. I've forgot my line in front of hundreds of people, and I just went blank, and I started to perspire, and I froze. Nothing would come out. I didn't have a. It was excruciating. It's a memory I will never forget. Of forgetting my lines, all of them. To the point where I felt like I didn't know where I was. I was just like,
Person in the wings. Your line, Peter. Your line.
Yeah, you're like,
Your line. It's you. It's your line.
oh gosh. Yeah, that was painful. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it.
Isn't it interesting how some of the most, I was just speaking about this earlier, you can forget 99 of the amazing things you do, but you'll always remember that one thing where you made a mistake. It's crazy, but you can't let it eat away at you.
I remember a lot of. I remember I had to exit one time from the stage in a nightclub dinner theater and go through the audience and then through the swinging doors where all the waiters come with the food. And I have to go around the back of that and then enter through the window to the dressing room to get to, backstage. And I was running merrily along, and I'm going out through the audience, and as I'm coming through the swinging doors, there's a waiter coming through the swinging doors with a tray with 3 or 4 plates of pasta and meat sauce. And everybody heard this, bang, boom, bang, boom, bang, bang. And I go out the window like this. I get hit in the forehead with this big aluminum tray. I hit right here, and I have to make a change, and I put on my spaghetti meat sauce all over me, and just noodles, everything else. I'm shaking this thing off, and I'm crawling through the window, and I have to come around to go on stage and then sing a song. So I get the jacket off, but I've got meat sauce all over my shirt and everything else. Meat sauce in my hair. And I'm singing, and there's a ripple on my forehead, and there's a little bit of blood. And people are just staring at my forehead because as I'm starting to sing, this egg starts forming on my forehead. And it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where it looked like a hard-boiled egg on my forehead.
They're like, wow, this show has great special effects.
Yes. Anyway, I barely got through the song, and people were just staring at it. And finally, I walked off, and I got ice on it. And somebody made a comment to the audience. Said, "Well, Peter is not going to be back for the rest of the show. He's got a bad headache." And so, anyway, that's one of my other memories.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, and thanks for your question.
Yeah.
All right, so we got about 10 minutes left, so let's try to get as many as we can. Hi.
Hi, Peter. I'm TJ. On Transformers, you got to work with someone who, for my money, is one of the most underrated voice actors ever, the late, great Chris Latta. Yeah. And I'm given to understand that he was quite a character in real life.
Yes, he was.
Something about Flint Dilley having to bail him out of jail to go do a G.I. Joe recording session and all of that. So I was wondering if you could share some memories of Chris with us.
Well, Chris Latta was intense. Is probably a mild word for Chris. Extremely intense, and when he performed, he would break out in a sweat in a cold room. I mean, he would get right into stuff. He was really intense, and perspiring. He would move his head like this, and you'd go, get away from me. And you'd have to come back in for your line. You'd go like this, and get out of the way.
Give me the news, not the weather. Get out of here.
Yeah, he was, he was intense. Yeah, and a good actor. He could inspire you with that ferocity. And so it was never a dull moment when Chris was on mic. He was quite a guy, and he was missed. And his family he was dedicated to his family, and a wonderful family. So, yeah, here's to Chris Latta. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, hi, what's your question?
Hello again. So I saw this great video online of when you announced to a con like this that you were no longer doing the voice of Eeyore. And you riffed a bit on it. I was just wondering, when you've been doing a lot of these iconic voices for so long, and everybody here, I would probably agree, you are that person to us. I wondered during the video how you actually felt when you found out, or whenever you find out that you're not doing a particular character anymore.
It hurts, it does. It hurts. But there are many reasons, and you probably don't want to know them. When I had the death scene in the feature film back in '86, I tell I was with Frank, and we go through that same thing. I say, Frank, are you up where I'm? What page are you on? He says, I'm around 3. Well, he's playing about 5 characters. So he's got a lot of work ahead of him. I only had the one, and then Ironhide. But whatever page it was, I was reading a death scene, and I said, "Holy, this is terrible. What do I do? Do I come back? I don't know. I go to the end. No, I don't come back." I said, "Oh man," and you know it's hard. You just the kids, they were affected by it. I've been told by a lot of people in their 40s and 50s, this gentleman back there, you guys, yep, that it affected them. And so mothers responded likely to their children first, and then to the networks. And they had to bring me back for 3 shows or whatever it was. But anyway. But some other characters, you just get axed, and you don't want to know the reasons. I don't want to know. The first reason that you would think, I would say, who did I annoy? Who did I, But then you can't find anything rational about it. So you just forget about it, go on, do the next job, and, continue on, Yeah.
Do your best, and like you said, never give up.
Never
I
go.
just love the way that Eeyore talked to Optimus Prime about it. So it was hilarious.
Yeah, that's yeah.
All right, so now we do have a nice little short line, but we only have 5 minutes, so let's try to keep our questions short, and we'll try to keep our answers short.
And the responses shorter.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Go ahead.
I'm Josh.
Hi, Josh.
And my question is, you and Frank Welker both did voice work for the Transformers ride at Universal Studios, both in Florida and in California. Have either of you ever been on the ride? And if so, what was your experience with it?
It was a ball. Frank and I rode the one at Universal Los Angeles. We rode it together, and it was great. I said, oh boy, they spent a fortune on that thing. Holy, I want some of that.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. It was fun. Yeah, and then we were in Orlando, and that was exciting in another way too, because they had the mechanics, that Hollywood can come up with. But in Orlando, it was huge, and it was hot. I remember that.
Oh yeah, Florida gets hot. Thank you so much for your question.
Yeah.
All right, really quickly, go.
Hello, my name is Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
Peter, Mr. Peter, what is your favorite 2 Transformer shows out of the whole franchise? It doesn't have to be the ones you did, but I just want your opinion on that.
They're all very special, and but I'm a G1. Yeah. I loved Transformers Prime. It was a ball. The acting, the crew, the cast, they were sensational. Working with Michael Bay alone on that movie was probably on a scale of 1 to 10, a 10 for the experience. And he's a great director. He likes to blow things up. No, but he's a great director, and I had the fortunate experience of attending one of the premieres in I think it was in Beverly Hills or Westwood somewhere, and we came after the movie. We came back to some of the reception areas, and he was talking with the president of Paramount Pictures, or whoever was in charge, I forget. And he saw me coming around the corner, and he looked at me, and he walked over to me, and he got a big smile on his face, and I looked at him, I say, boy, you really like to blow things up. And he went, and they walked away. I said, boy, are you dumb. That's not the thing you say to a director, for cradle to grave. You like to blow things up. Oh, boy. There was the booby prize of the year, you know. Yeah.
Wah, wah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you.
All right, we got 2 minutes left, so quick questions, quick answers, lightning round. Let's go.
Hi, my name is Uriah, and my question is, what was your favorite line when voice acting Optimus Prime?
My favorite.
Favorite line when voicing Optimus Prime?
Oh, there's so many. I love. Hold on to your dreams. The future is built on dreams.
Thank you.
Thank you, Uriah. Hi, what's your question?
Hi, my name is Jonna, and what is your favorite moment of being Optimus Prime?
Your favorite moment of being Optimus Prime?
Oh. He has so many wonderful things to say, you know. I think I love the one that really stands out to me is let's roll.
Thank
And
you.
I'll tell you why. It was the line that was used on the 9/11 when the airplane came down in. I've got these confused. No. Yeah, it came down in near the. I forget. Was it Pennsylvania? And one of the passengers, he was a young male, and he had his phone, and they heard him say when they were gonna got 3 or 4 guys together to attack the guys that were hijacking the plane, and the words came out. He said, "Let's roll."
Thank
Amazing.
you.
And yeah.
All right, literally down to the last 60 seconds. So let's ask really quickly. Go.
Hi, I always want to know what arc did you ever want to see with Optimus Prime developed as? Like,
What arc would you like to see Optimus Prime developed? Like, what character arc would you like to see developed for Optimus Prime?
Character art?
Arc, A-R, like arc.
like a story.
Like a storyline or story.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. I wish they would go back to Cybertron.
Let's go. Back to Cybertron. Thank you for your question. All right, question, go.
Mr. Peter Cullen, my name is Brandon. My question for you is, where would you rank Optimus Prime on the all-time leaders list when comparing him to our great leaders like, George Washington or LeBron James?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't think I'm going to touch that.
Yeah, we'll need more time to think about this one.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your question. All right, we got 2 questions left. Really quick, go.
Hi, my name is Hunter. Just got back from the photo booth. Thank you again for that. Just real quick, as an aspiring voice actor, what is your one bit of advice to up-and-comers like me trying to navigate this industry?
Well, if you love it, you'll never work a day for the rest of your life. It'll be doing something you love to do. And when you really love something like that, it's inside you, and keep telling yourself, it's going to get better. Don't give up. And there are going to be tough times, but there's going to be more times that are rewarding. And so the struggle and the fight is worth every minute of it to do something you love to do. And never give up or in, because you will improve.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And really quickly, last and final question.
My name is Wally. My question is, which Transformers series would you want to go to? One of the ones you didn't do. Other
Transformers
series, like TV
series.
show. Which TV show?
What series of the Transformers would you like to go to that you didn't get to voice?
Oh man, they're Generation 1. It was a ball, and it was new, and it was inspiring, and the acting, the talent was, just incredible talent, every one of them, And it was a joy to go to work, and 4 or 5 hours would go by like that. You just got there, and you was finished, and you were there for 4 hours. It was fun. It was fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your question. Thank you, everyone, for being here. One more time, big round of applause. The one and only Peter Cullen.